Hi, Bryant University, and welcome to the Bryant News Network. I'm Angie Andrews.
And I'm Sarah Larrabee.
And we have a great show planned for you today. We're covering everything from the election to the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. It's been a huge couple of weeks here at Bryant and in the world, so we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, starting with, in case you missed it, we have Doug and Sean this week who will catch you up on all the local election results, as well as Doug with a little bit of world news for you.
And the election results in Rhode Island weren't exactly as predicted, which definitely keeps it interesting.
Right.
Then we head over to Chad, and though I know nothing about sports, he is the man of the hour who can tell us everything to do with Bryant updates, as well as a whole lot about football.
And then to switch it up a little bit, we brought in Bull Talk this week on their horoscopes, so make sure to get yours read by them.
Horoscopes.
Yeah.
Not my favorite thing, but they do have a little bit of a different take on it.
Yeah.
Keeping it interesting. And then,
They always keep it interesting.
Of course.
That's the number one segment, so.
Of course. And then there's entertainment with AJ and Inez, and they talk about political movies. And though I am not a movie buff, they kind of opened my eyes to something.
Well, they are.
They are. They're the professionals.
Yeah.
But they did open my eyes to a couple of things that I actually am considering seeing, which is saying a lot, as you know.
Good job, AJ and Inez.
Very good job. So we're going to see you back here in just a little bit.
Hello, Brian, and welcome to In Case You Missed It. I'm Sean Lambert.
And I'm Doug Sieber.
In case you missed it, President Obama was reelected to a second presidential term by a comfortable margin, including his 62-36 victory in Rhode Island. Meanwhile, also at the polls on Tuesday, Rhode Island residents voted to add table gambling to the casino at Twin River, but not at the Newport Grand. The casinos claimed that the addition will increase revenue and allow them to compete with Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. They also claim that the tables will create jobs and perhaps lead to future expansion. Although the statewide vote to add table games passed easily, the local votes were much closer, and in fact in Newport, the locals voted not to allow table games for the casino. Both a state vote and a local vote were needed to pass for each casino. According to Twin River, their victory at the polls will generate an additional $100 million in revenue. The Rhode Island Board of Governors for Higher Education has voted to freeze tuition and fees at our three state colleges, which are the University of Rhode Island College, and the Community College of Rhode Island. The freeze will cost the state $14 million.
In world news tonight, an anti-austerity demonstration by more than 80,000 people in Athens degenerated into violence on Wednesday as hundreds of protesters clashed with riot police ahead of a crucial parliamentary vote on new spending cuts. The vote is the toughest test yet for the country's fragile 4-month-old coalition government, which must pass the 13.5 billion euro package of measures to ensure Greece continues receiving bailout loans and avoids bankruptcy. Prime Minister Antonis Samaras said, "Today we must confirm Greece's new credibility. We choose whether we want to stay in the Eurozone or return to the drachma. That is the choice." This measure will ultimately pile more pain on the Greeks, who have suffered wave after wave of spending cuts and tax hikes since their government revealed in 2009 that public debt was actually far higher than what had been previously declared.
Disney purchased George Lucas's revolutionary company, Lucasfilm, for $4 billion. Lucasfilm not only brought the world the Star Wars saga, but also blockbusters like Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, and American Graffiti. Its subdivision, Industrial Light and Magic, has had a hand in scores of other films and is considered the best digital effects company on the market. Along with the sale, Disney announced that the production of 3 new Star Wars films would begin immediately, and have scheduled the release of Episode 7 for 2015.
And in other news, Puerto Ricans have endorsed U.S. statehood for the Caribbean island, but also ousted the pro-state governor in a close election. Governor Luis Fortuno conceded defeat on Wednesday to his main challenger after concluding that there were not enough outstanding ballots to close the gap with his main challenger, Alejandro Garcia Padilla. The margin in Tuesday's vote, though, was only less than 1%. Now it is time for us to come together as one people. The campaign is over, Fortuno said in a news conference. Fortuno, as a member of the pro-statehood New Progressive Party, said he was pleased that 61% of the voters endorsed becoming a U.S. state, though critics said the two-part bailout ballot were confusing to many and would not be enough to persuade Congress to accept Puerto Rico into the Union. Well, that's all we have time for tonight, so now we'll turn it over to Chad with sports.
Thanks, Doug and Sean. What is going on with the NHL? The annual Winter Classic has been canceled and the lockout is stretched into its 7th week. So will there be a season? The NHL and the NHL Players Association need to make a deal and start seriously negotiating if they want a season. Time is running out quick. Doesn't it feel like the NFL season started just the other day? Already halfway through, and we already have one undefeated team, the Atlanta Falcons. But are they truly the best? The New York Giants, who some say are slumping, are going to give the Falcons a great game on December 16th. I know it's a ways away, but a game could determine the momentum heading into the playoffs. Remember the Giants last year? Mediocre regular season, but then exploded into the playoffs to win the Super Bowl. And who was their first playoff win? The Atlanta Falcons. The NBA season has already kicked off, but college basketball will be here before you know it. One of the biggest rivalries of college basketball history, the Indiana Hoosiers and the Kentucky Wildcats, are both ranked 1st and 3rd respectively. Louisville, who had a surprise run in the Big East tournament and continued their momentum to make the Final Four, are ranked 2nd this year. It should be interesting to see how their season plays out. On to Bryant Athletics. Congratulations to the women's soccer team, who has finished the season with a program record of 11 wins. The Bulldogs posted an 11-8 overall record, including a 6-4 mark in NEC play, which are both D1 program records. Head coach Chris Flint and company will be ready for next season. Our football team defeated Sacred Heart 34-14. What you might not know is what happened before kickoff. Bryant Director of Athletics Bill Smith and head coach Marty Fine presented Sacred Heart athletic staff with a check for $1,000 to go towards the Paul Gorham Fund. Paul Gorham is the head coach of Sacred Heart, and around 6 months ago, he had his world turned completely upside down by a lung disease called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which has no known cause or cure. There is one thing for sure, Paul Gorham is a fighter, and we all send our best wishes to him and his family. Now over to Bull Talk.
Hello, Bulldogs. Welcome to Bull Talk. I'm Super Mario.
And I'm Princess Bailey.
And I'm Princess Dana.
So guys, today I was going through horoscopes because it's what I do daily on a daily basis. And it said that I had to get rid of all the negative aspects of my life to get ahead on my work.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
What else does your horoscope say?
That I'm caring, loyal. My only fallback is that I'm pretty moody.
Oh, really?
Moody. Oh, boy.
Well, actually, I'm a big fan of horoscopes, too. I kind of read it when I'm, kind of avoiding homework a little bit. So I read Capricorn all the time, and it says that my strengths are usually I'm responsible and ambitious, but I can be conceited at times, so it's a little bit of a downfall.
I don't know if I really believe in all this horoscope junk.
Bailey?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Libra, and I'm supposed to be idealistic, peaceful, and then I'm also indecisive. I am indecisive, that's really true. But I don't know, I don't think that reading a horoscope is a good idea. Like, if your horoscope said to jump off a bridge, would you do it?
Depends how high the bridge is.
Are you kidding me?
Well, what if it's like a cute little toy bridge? I would jump
Bailey,
off that.
No.
Just for that comment, you're a negative aspect. I think I want to leave the show. I mean, I need to get rid of all the negative aspects.
So you're saying that your horoscope told you to get rid of negative aspects, so you're leaving me?
Yes.
Obviously.
We must not be compatible, right? Because that's another thing of horoscopes is like Capricorns and Libras aren't compatible, but I don't know. So I guess we're just not compatible, so we can't be friends.
Who says I wanted to be your friend?
Whoa.
Low. Not okay with that.
You know, horoscopes are kind of like fortune cookies, if you think about it. They're like very similar. Don't even tell me you don't like fortune cookies either.
I like the taste of fortune cookies, but they're baloney too.
Well, one time I got a fortune cookie that said I looked pretty, so I completely agree with it.
See, there. I mean, you're so modest, Dana.
See, there's my horoscope just proving itself right.
Don't you think that was a little conceited, though?
That's fine. My horoscope says I am, so I can be.
That's
at times.
True.
Oh boy. Well, I think we're gonna have to take this outside.
Let's do this.
Yeah. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. Smile pretty.
Thank you, Bull Talk. And now Sarah and I want to talk about something that really, to say it Family Guy style, really grinds our gears about this last presidential election.
Right, and that is, I've noticed that this year, more than ever, people have just been so open about their political views. And usually that's something that you really keep to yourself.
Yes, I mean, it's well known that we all have differing political views, but I just found it insane that when I woke up the morning after Election Day, never mind the day before Election Day, which was horrible on both Facebook and Twitter, the morning after, people were saying horrendous things that President Obama had won. I had a friend from home who had a Facebook status that said, "This is April Fool's Day, right?" And I was like, come on, nobody needs that. We are a unit, we're a country of one.
And that's his whole slogan.
Right.
That's President Obama's, the whole movement he has tried to create was about one people, and you know, he gave credit to Romney, and Romney gave credit to him, and
did.
they're going to
Super
work
respectful.
together. Super respectful. They're going to be working together, or so they say. It's definitely going to be an interesting next presidency for Obama, but with the use of social media, it's that instant access to everyone's thoughts, and I think people put a lot more on their Facebook and Twitters than they should.
I agree.
But that's just the nature of, you can unfollow them, you can unfriend them, you choose what's on your own newsfeed.
You do.
But it has definitely been interesting to watch.
It's true, and how do people not understand either that it makes you look bad? When you put something extremely derogatory on your Facebook, no matter if it's about your friends or your professors or your coworkers, or in this case, the presidential election, it makes the poster look bad. And I think people forget that.
And people also forget that you can't post pictures of your marked ballot. As crazy as that seems,
I didn't see one.
there have been people, celebrities even,
Stop.
according to Mashable.com, Beyonce, and yes,
Stop,
and you can, it's in
please.
the federal laws. You cannot do that. So it's social media has really taken over our social lives, and
We are the social media generation.
we are, and it was definitely evident this past week.
It was. So hopefully in 4 years, when this comes around again, things will be looking a little bit different for especially our age group, especially the college age and the young adult demographic, that people will be a little bit more respectful of others' opinions, and kind of this whole social media thing won't be so new anymore.
And just make sure to keep your Facebook clean and realize what that puts out as an image for you.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's our 2 cents. Now over to AJ and Inez to wrap it up with entertainment.
Thank you and welcome to Entertainment News. I'm Inez.
And I'm AJ.
So in the spirit of the last week's election, we decided to talk about our favorite political movies. So my favorite political movie is The Ides of March, which was released last year. And it's the story of pretty much a campaign for the primary election in Ohio, I think. And George Clooney and Ryan Gosling are the 2 main actors. And I thought the movie was really good. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of all times.
It's like a drama or a thriller, or what's it more along the lines of?
I think it's more of a drama. It's like just to show you how like dirty it can get, like yeah, like campaigning and like all the lies and all the games, the mind games that are played. It's really, really interesting. It's kind of a pessimistic view of politics, but I mean, I consider it realistic too. Like I think that's the way.
How relevant, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I thought it was a really good movie, and Ryan Gosling is definitely like
Great actor.
really good in that movie. Yeah.
One of my favorites is Air Force One, which is, have you seen it?
Nope.
It's essentially Die Hard on a plane, and it's the president is, his plane is taken over by Russian radical members who are trying to release a warlord, and if he does so, the world's pretty much going to be in jeopardy, and he has to both maintain control of the plane and save his family while also balancing his role as the president and refuse the orders of these Russian nationalists and not release their leader. It's a very good thriller, great action movie. I highly recommend it.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, another interesting news is I read last week that Beyonce was going to be the performer for the Super Bowl halftime this year. Yeah, so I mean, I think it should be good, but she definitely has a lot of pressure on her shoulders because last year's Super Bowl was the most viewed Super Bowl like ever. I think it had more than like 111 million viewers or something. So yeah, she definitely has a lot of pressure to do well in this show.
I mean, look at the Black Eyed Peas when they performed. They really tanked it, and they got a lot of controversy for that. So she definitely has, big shoes to fill, but she seems like she's a star who could definitely do it. And I think that you might have heard it when they talked about it, and in case you missed it, but Disney recently purchased Lucasfilm for $4 billion, and they have a plan to start a new Star Wars trilogy as of 2015. Now, Disney has great potential. Disney's made incredible movies, but they've also ruined a lot of movies as well. They've made some bad ones, so I'm very interested to see on how this will go. I can't make a judgment until I see it because it could be a total success or a complete bomb. What do you think about this?
I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know. I usually like Disney movies, so I don't know. I don't know about the mix with Star Wars, though. It's kind of a cultural shock.
Because I don't think they've done much in sci-fi, so that would be pretty interesting how they take this to a new level. Well, I think that's it for this week. Thank you very much for tuning into entertainment. I'm AJ.
I'm Inez.
Have a great day.
Thanks, AJ and Inez. Well, what a show, what a week. Presidential campaigns, election results, political movies.